Influence Church exists to help you know God, find freedom, discover purpose, and influence your world.
Usually I like to start with something funny, and I tested this joke on our lunch team last Sunday, and they were a little laughing. So, young couple with two little boys, that they were always in trouble. An 8 and a 10 years old boys. And if anything was going wrong in town, the parents knew that their kids were involved. This story reminds me of my childhood. So, Mom had no idea what to do with those little boys anymore. But she found out that a new pastor, a new preacher is in town. So she decided to just take the kids to the preacher. Maybe he can make some sense out of those two little boys. But the preacher said, I would like them to come one at a time. Sounds good. They flip a coin, and the youngest one had to go first. So the 8-year-old boy is in the room with the preacher, and the preacher, trying to start a conversation, is saying like, where do you think is God? Silence. The preacher thought he didn't hear the question, and now a little louder, where do you think is God? Silence. Now the preacher is getting frustrated because he's human also, and just ask, where is God? At that moment, an 8-year-old kid turned around and ran home. It's hiding in the closet. Now the 10-year-old kid, the big brother, is going in the closet, and it's asking the little boy, how did it go? What's wrong? Where the little boy say like, we are in big, big trouble. God is missing, and they think we did it. No, don't worry, God is not missing. Even if in today's world might look like, might feel like, if you look outside there, might feel like God is nowhere. But he's always around, he's always at work, he's always in control. And the last time I checked, he was still on the throne. So, today we'd like to start a new, it's not a new series because it's actually our first series. Today is the first service, right? We are going to start a series called, What on Earth Am I Here For? I don't know if you ever thought that, asked that yourself, but when I was a kid, I kind of knew what I have to do because my parents told me, right? You have to go to school, you have to pass the first grade and the second and the fourth and the 10th. And then try to figure out the high school and then try to figure out the college and try to figure out, kind of come and make sense. But we as human beings always have to ask ourselves, what on earth am I here for? Because you can get a good degree, you can get a good job, you can have a great family and still not be fulfilled. The question is, what on earth am I here for? And in today's United States, a lot of Americans are unhappy. A study was done on May 21st through 29th, where 2,279 people were surveyed. And this number of people were designed to represent United States population. And the survey showed that actually only 14% of the people said they are very happy. Think about it, 14%. Actually, to the second question, if they are happy, only 33% answered they were happy or somehow happy. So that means only 1 out of 3 Americans today, they are somehow happy. And then I start thinking about it, why are we losing joy? Why are we losing our happiness? In my opinion, people are not happy because they have no purpose. They don't know what on earth they are here for. Sometimes people search for years, decades. Sometimes we are searching for the answer to that question our whole life and still not find the answer. In the next 3-4 weeks, I would like us to dive a little deeper in trying to figure out what on earth are we here for. Waking up feeling without a purpose is very frustrating. You look around and see sometimes, somehow, people that are full of energy. They are getting out of bed in the morning, kind of jumping, and they are ready to go through the day, and they have energy, they have joy, they have happiness. And then sometimes we are looking at ourselves and like, man, I wish I would be like that. And actually, that is God's purpose for each one of us. To be able in the morning to just jump out of bed and start a new day, full of energy and full of joy. Without purpose, life is motion without meaning. It's activity without direction and events without reason. Yet, it's never too late to discover our God-ordained purpose. We need to understand that God makes everything with a purpose. Every animal, every insect in this world has a purpose. Every plant, every flower, every tree has a purpose. And if you are alive today, you have a purpose. We'll just need to figure that one out. How many of you like to follow instructions? Not too many raise hands. Okay, some of you. I'm the guy who doesn't, I hate instructions. A couple years ago, we got one of those IKEA beds, and my first reaction was open the box, spread everything out, toss the instructions, and put it together. And I did it. And then I realized what's done wrong. And I don't know if some IKEA furniture, if you put it together once and you take it apart, 50% chances to put it back together and still be good furniture. I think they have some issues with the quality there, but. So then I had to slowly, gently try to take it apart and try to put it back together, this time following instruction. Well, it's the same with life. See, we've been created in God's image. In God's image, we've been created. The Bible in Genesis says that. And so many times we are trying to figure out our purpose in life without the instructor or without the writer of the instruction manual, of the instructions. Something that we have to understand is, for us to be able to figure out what on earth we are here for, we have to go back to the Creator that created us in His image, because He knows exactly what we've been wired for, what we have been created for. The creator of this manual can't answer the question very clearly, very easy. And do you know why? Because He knows us better than we know ourselves. Today I would like to take you through just a short trip through the Bible to just show you how much God knows about us. In Matthew 10:30, it's saying like this: God knows the number of your hairs, and even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Sometimes I ask God, because I have concerns, sometimes I'm losing more hair that are growing, and like, Lord, are you keeping track of those? Can you reverse that process little? But He knows exactly what's happening with our hair. Exactly. Number. It's not just, average, probably you last 20, you gain 10. He knows exactly the number of our hairs. In Jeremiah 1:5, He's saying this: before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. God knew about us before we even were created. He created a purpose for us before we were even born. Think about it. Nothing that we can do in our life when we are 10 or 12, like those little boys I told you earlier, nothing that we can do when we are in the 20s or 30s or 50s can change God's purpose for our life. Because the purpose for our life was created before we were even born. In Exodus 33, and the Lord said to Moses, I will do the very thing you have asked, because I am pleased with you and I know you by name. God knows exactly your name. And He knows everybody's name on this planet. I wish I would have that kind of memory, to be honest with you. In 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 39, we can see that God knows, you know their hearts, for you alone know every human heart. He knows what's happening here. When we are happy, joyful, or when we are going through struggles, when we are frustrated, or when we go through losses, He knows everything that's going through our hearts. There is another scary thought in Psalm 139. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. Think about it. God knows our thoughts. Know what's going through our mind. Actually, before it goes on our tongue, before it's going in our mouth, God knows exactly what we are thinking. We better be paying attention to what we are thinking because God knows it. Matthew 6:25. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food and the body more than clothes? God knows our worries. And let's be honest, in the last 2 years, a lot of us had a lot of worries. Because you look in today's world and you are like, man, what happened in such a short period of time? How can we end up in such a short period of time from where we were, where we are today? And the worries start piling up, and the concern, and then the sleep at night start being deprived, and then we start struggling with our health and so forth. He knows our worries. And actually, another Bible verse in the Bible said, cast all your worries on Him. You know why? First, we were not wired and built to carry too many worries in our lives. And second, He's strong enough, powerful enough to carry all our worries. So let's give it to Him. Ecclesiastes 12:14. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it's good or evil. With other words, He knows our actions. If it's public or if it's hidden. If everybody knows about it or only we know about it. God knows all our action. Psalm 139:4. He knows your words. Before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely. Job 23:10 is saying this, but He knows the way that I take. When He has tested me, I will come forth as gold. He knows the way that I take. He knows our ways. He knows better than a GPS. Few years back, before the smarter GPS on phone and those kind of things, I used to have those old GPSs that you enter the app, sitting on dashboard, and to tell him to go and start going, and once in a while the GPS was rerouting, keep saying rerouting, and it's rerouting. But then that GPS somehow get connected with satellite and is receiving the instructions. God knows all the instruction all the time. He knows where we have to go. He knows where we're supposed to be, and He wants to take us there. We have to just pay attention. We have to just open our ears to be able to listen. You know, we could go on and on about how much God knows about us. But somebody earlier told me that they would like to be home for dinner. Not lunch. I mentioned dinner. So, In today's world, more people know about other people, less they want to be around those people. I don't know about you, but sometimes this is kind of the reality. Because people get to know our weaknesses, get to know our faults, and we think people don't want to be around us anymore. God knows so much about us. God knows everything about us. Not just about us. Actually, God knows us. It's know what's happening inside before it's happening. And think about it. He really still wants that relation with us. He's not turned off by what we do and by our faults, by our shortcomings, by our misbehaving. He still wants to have a relation with us. And that because he loves us. Apostle Paul, in his writing to the Christian in Rome, said this, Romans 8:38. For I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, neither height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our Lord. Nothing we can do can separate us from our love, our God's love. All we have to do is just receive it. But love, experiencing God's love, it's a two-way street. We have to be willing to receive that love from Him. Because, let's be honest, you cannot force a gift on somebody. If you want to give somebody a gift and they don't want to receive it, they will not receive it. So, God wants to give us a gift, but we have to have that desire to receive the gift from Him. We have been created by God for Him to love on us. This is all His desire. This is all His purpose. This is what He really wants to do, to really love on us. But as I said earlier, we have to allow that to happen. Our purpose in life, as God originally created man, is to glorify God and enjoy fellowship with Him. Remember, God created this world. And then He said, created human, man and female He created them, and then put them in that garden, and then it's like, let's have fellowship. Let's spend time together. Second purpose in life, in my opinion, if we are looking at Genesis, is that to have good relationship with each other, with one another. With other words, we need to have a good relationship on vertical with God, and if we have that really good, really down, will be so easy for us to have relationship with other on horizontal. Number 3 that God created man was to work, because He gave him the garden. It's like, now take care of it. And to be honest with you, at the beginning was easier, but with man's fall, that got harder. And number 4 was to have dominion over the earth, to just control or manage the earth. Unfortunately, with man's fall into sin, fellowship with God is broken, relationships with others are strained, and work seems to always be frustrating. And let's be honest, man struggles so hard to take dominion over the earth. Only by restoring our relationship and fellowship with God, we will be able to find and discover our purpose in life. Because He's the only one who can lead us and teach us what that is. The writer of the Psalm, it's mentioning this in Psalm 73:25. Whom have I in heaven but you? And earth has nothing I desire besides you. With other words, for this writer, life doesn't matter if it's no relation with God. Life on earth has no purpose if it's not that relation with God. David said this in Psalm 63:7. You have been my help, and in the shadow of your wings, I will sing for joy. How can we get to that place where we'll be able in our lives to be singing of joy? Or maybe make a noise, a joyful sound. If you are not a singing type, maybe you can just make a joyful noises. And you want to make that commitment. Doesn't take forever. You have to just say, Lord, I need you in my life. I give my life to you. Maybe you give your life to Christ. Maybe you give your life to God a while back. But something happened for the last few years. And somehow you lost your joy. Somehow you are not the same when you give your life to God. I really encourage you to just rededicate your life to God. Just ask Him again in your life. And actually, I would like to pray for you today. Doesn't matter if you are watching online or if you are here right now. I would like all of you to just close your eyes. No cheating, no peeking. Everybody, please close your eyes. And if you want to give your life to Christ, if you want to rededicate your life to Christ, I would like you to just raise your hand. Everybody else, please just keep your eyes closed. God knows you and He wants to have a relationship with you. You can put your hands down. Also, if you make the same decision online, just in your mind, you don't have to say it with loud voice. Just say after me, Jesus, I give my life to you today. I need you in my life. I tried my own ways and I'm failing. Today, I choose your ways because are better. If you said that and you made that dedication and made that commitment today, actually I would like you to reach out to our info booth at the end of the service because we have a book for you. It's a great book written by Chris Hodges that is saying what's next, that is going to help you regain that joy in your life or gain the joy in your life. What I would like to do right now is just enter another song of worship together. And this song actually is called Jireh and means provider. Jehovah Jireh, actually, it's another name of God, and it means God will provide. God provides for each one of us to have a better life, to have abundant life, not just barely make it through life. You and I are wired and built by God to thrive in life, and this is His purpose for us.
Than I am right now. Wasn't holding you up, so there's nothing I can do to let you down. Doesn't take a trophy to make you proud. I'll never be more loved than I am right now.
Going through a storm, but I won't go down. I hear your voice carried in the rhythm of the wind, so call me out. You would cross an ocean so I wouldn't drown. You've never been closer than you are right now.
Sing with us, Jireh.
Jireh, you are enough. Jireh,
are enough. And I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough. Forever enough, always enough. You're more than enough. Forever enough, always enough. You're more than enough. I don't want to forget how I feel right now on the mountaintop. I can see so clear what it's all about. Stay by my side when the sun goes down. Don't want to forget how I feel right now. You are Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough. And I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough. Forever enough, forever enough, always enough. You're more than enough. Forever enough, always enough. You're more than enough. Already loved, I'm already chosen. I know who I am. I know what you've spoken. I'm already loved more than I could imagine. And that is enough. Sing it out. I'm already loved. I'm already chosen. I know who I am. I know what you've spoken. I'm already loved more than I can imagine. That is enough. Sing Jireh, Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough. And I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough. Sing it one more time. Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough. And I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough.